All right, so there you go. So I just thought to take some of your greatest hits and put them all together.
Thank you. You should have been a researcher on this book. I should have put those in.
First of all, where's my royalty check? Because I'm such a big part of this, I really feel that I should get a royalty for this. You would have, like, the book would be like a third less had it not been for the Q&A that you and I do. You do have a few different new ones in here, which I found I'm sure will drive
lots of new
people crazy. For example, it's become increasingly difficult to distinguish the pronouncements of the Episcopal Church in the latest Madonna video.
Yes.
I mean, so don't you think it doesn't bother you to offend your fellow Christians?
My fellow Christians agree with that.
In other words, so Episcopals aren't real Christians? Do you want to insult the entire church?
No, it's the pronouncements of the church. The Episcopals are a little bit more like the Catholics, where there are, priests who are speaking for the church, as opposed to your standard evangelical, who it's just between the evangelical and God. And yes, the official church is making enough insane Madonna-like statements. There's now this huge rift that you see written about every day on the, well, not every day, but often on the front page of the New York Times, because the Christians within the Episcopal Church are a little freaked out by pronouncements of those on high.
When we come back, I want to talk about this unholy alliance, these groups that are out there ready to attack you and Rush Limbaugh, myself, and Bill O'Reilly, and everybody else, and how it's basically the Clinton machine behind a lot of this and the Soros money. So
right, and they're the ones who really deserve the royalty check.
Okay, we'll take a break.
The Republicans, I have a hard time saying that. I know that when your rhetoric comes up and then Republicans claim, look at all these horrible things Democrats say, look what they said about the soldiers, look what the move on thing. Did you say, this is, I just want to know if this is accurate.
I said it's in the book.
Well, I don't know. Did you say soldiers are just cowards with their backs against the wall, the lowest IQ men in our society, those incapable of normal careers and lists, their choice in life, prison or the military, some will have to die.
Wait, who is that a quote from? I gather there's a punchline.
Intervention Magazine, November 6, 2003.
Wait, there's no punchline that some other Republican said that? No, of course I didn't say that.
They quote you as saying soldiers are just cowards with their back against the wall. No. Did you say that?
Of course not.
That's a misquote.
Hi, I'm Ann Coulter. I got misquoted. Okay, that isn't even close to anything I've ever said.
You never said that.
No, liberals make up quotes widely. If you want to hear the really outrageous stuff, it's in my book.
A little magazine. You also said in this book, here's another one I'm sure they'll go
wait, let me see this. Intervention Magazine?
Yeah, here it is.
What
November
day?
6, 03.
I think, I can't know.
Okay.
I don't even believe there's such a magazine.
You talk about the Norman Mineta controversy in your book and how you were criticized for things you said about him being in internment camps and claiming he was whining about it. In the ensuing outrage, you say liberals denounced her faster than Arabs did. Then you're quoted as saying, maybe I'm winning the camel jockeys over.
Yes.
So you have no problem referring to...
That's actually in the book.
Yes,
that's not a made-up quote.
That's why I'm talking to you about it. So you have no problem referring to Arabs as camel jockeys.
Oh, yeah, no. They killed 3,000 Americans. I'll be very careful with my language.
All Arabs killed 3,000 Americans?
The point is, they were a little slower to attack me for that than the Jews were.
All right, but when you refer to an entire ethnicity as camel jockeys, it sounds bigoted.
Yes, and it's so mean after they killed 3,000 Americans.
But they were not all Arabs.
We have sure moved away from the day when we called them krauts and nips.
You're very proud of yourself, aren't you?
No, I'm making a point. We're at war, and what liberals are concerned about is what language we're using.
Well, you know what? Because you make your living on language. Language is very important. And in fact, if you're going to try to prosecute a war, or if you're going to try to win a war, you don't win it by using nasty language toward your opponent or calling everybody who's an Arab or everybody who's a German.
When that is a quote about Ahmadinejad.
You're talking about camel jockeys.
And what they're worried about is language being used toward him. And you pretend you're just worried about the language, but as we know from last week, you aren't just worried about the language. Columbia University invites Ahmadinejad to speak there. He is an honored guest there. I'm not. The Minutemen are not. This isn't just a question of language. You use language to change the substance of what people are talking about.
No, I'm your language, as you pointed out.
I want to talk about the band is back together. You've got George Soros funding John Podesta's group Think Progress, which is attacking the structural imbalance of talk radio. You got George Soros funding MoveOn.org. George Soros funding Harold Dickey's and America's Coming Together. We need Media Matters to open up their books. But all these groups are now designed to hurt people like you. They have this phony battle and total mischaracterization of Rush Limbaugh's comments to hurt him. And it seems like they're trying to pick off one conservative after another.
Right.
It's all the Clinton machine to prepare for her run and hurt anybody that might be an opponent of hers.
Right. I think the point of my book is I wouldn't be too worried if I were a conservative. Oh, wait, I am a conservative. Because, I mean, that is the curious thing about the first chapter of my book. You go through these 10 years of defamation campaigns against me, taking something I've said or making up something entirely that I never did say, twisting it, changing it, becoming hysterical, leading the news with it, and in every one of the battles, you don't even know.
Isn't the goal,
Wait, but not only am I still here, but everyone I went up against has a reputation that has not gone up since that fight.
There are a lot of smart conservatives. Newt Gingrich is one. He's going to join us later tonight.
Smart.
Americans are smart. Russia's another. A lot of people say an 80% chance Hillary wins, and that this strategy of trying to marginalize and pick off conservatives and put them on defense and take them off their game is going to work.
Well, I think conservatives ought to be stronger than that. I weigh 99 pounds, and somehow I managed to survive,
Is that what
the liberal onslaught. I mean, that's why they skip over the defamation campaign.
I weigh twice as much as you. That's the news of the day.
No, and that's why they're going to the fairness doctrine. They need to do it legally. Their defamation campaigns do not work, and if you look at the various disputes I've had going... No, I know it's not. That's what I'm saying. Going back to Katie Couric and Joe McCarthy and the Jersey Girls and Max Cleland and Norman Mineta...
Rush Limbaugh unpatriotic today.
Okay, what have they called me? You can read it in here what they've called me.
But you call all Democrats traitors, so that's okay.
The book is fabulous.
Well,
but all Democrats are traitors.
Well, they are. At least when I call you names, it's true.
Oh, you're different, I say.
No, I speak the truth.
You love the controversy.
I didn't say I didn't, because I keep winning.
According to by your own admission.
According to the fact that I'm sitting here in Norman Mineta.